Welcome back, Fubar here, and today we are going to be talking about everything on bombers. In the game right now, there is multiple pairings for officers with bombers, and there's a lot of questions and skepticism about bombers. So I'm going to be covering everything about the bombers from the three different camps and the officers and what pairings I recommend for each bomber. So we're going to start off with Martyrs, then Liberty, then Vanguard. So the Martyr bomber is a single target unit that hits only half the unit at a time. Meaning, when you're bombing with a Martyr bomber, you have individual units within a unit. So therefore, it's hitting 3 to 4 units out of that grouping each time it makes a pass. Martyr bomber also tracks that target. So if the target tries running away, it will follow that target and still hit it. The Martyr bomber is also meant for taking out tanks, and it does very well against light targets such as light tanks, helicopters, rocket launchers, howitzers. It does very well. The all bombers also deal blast damage, not direct damage. So please keep that in mind. Now, for the officer pairings for this officer, you could run Golden Pixie and El Cartero. You could run El Cartero and Brisk Eagle. You can run El Cartero and Witcher. You can run Golden Eagle and Witcher. Or you can run Golden Eagle and Brisk. But the most potent pairing, and the reason why it's last, or pairings, and the reason why it's last, it would be Rictus Reaper with El Cartero. Why? Because Rictus Reaper is an exclusive officer. He takes forever to unlock if you're free to play or a life spender. So that is the most potent pairing for the Vanguard bomber. Now, you can also do Golden Pixie and Rictus Reaper or Rictus Reaper and Brisk Eagle, but they will not be as effective as the Martyr bomber. I mean, the El Cartero and Rictus Reaper on the Martyr bomber. And the reason for that is because El Cartero increases damage towards tanks on a bomber, and Rictus Reaper does damage over time as he does passes. And he also drops a devastating bomb, where also El Cartero stuns the enemy unit, locking it in place, making it easier to hit. This also helps bring out the pain with Rictus Reaper. The reason why I recommend this pairing overall, if you are a spender or a light spender, or you should be your end goal for free to play, is because, very simply, if you're running Golden Pixie and El Cartero together, you may have an additional bombing run, but who says during that bombing run your bomber is being led to a fighter group? So time bombing is not always your best friend in this scenario. So therefore, you want to pull back your troop as soon as you're done eliminating the target. And that's what I have to say about the Martyr bomber. Out of the three bombers, Vanguard and Martyr would be my favorites. Just keep that in mind. And that's a personal preference. I know some of you guys love the Liberty bomber, but it's just not for me. Liberty bomber. Liberty bomber is different from Vanguard and Martyr. It does not track targets. It does a wide grid of a 7 grid AoE. So, in each AoE attack, it is slightly weaker among the group. So, like, you have the core right in the middle of the target, and then you have a perfect grid around that target. And that, I wish I had a Liberty Bomber to demonstrate this, but I do not, so I cannot. However, the Liberty Bomber is good for when working in conjunction with other Liberty Bombers for bombing bases. This was a very big problem, and Lilith added additional AA mode techs for under city defense to prevent this. They added the fortified wall with damage resistance towards bombers because of it, because everyone was doing it. Now, I'll also share you a fun fact about how to get all bomber parts with only gold and getting gold plus plus at the end of this, towards the end of this video. The Liberty Bomber is also good for base defense when you are up against rallies of RL units or howitzer units, because the Liberty Bomber does blast damage instead of direct damage, and it's a carpet bombing a wide grid. You can attack multiple units at once, dealing significant damage on base defense. Now, this officer pairing is a little bit different. I recommend Golden Pixie and El Cartero for base defense. If you're going base to base, I would recommend Golden Pixie and Rictus Reaper. Honorable mentions with this pairing would be Golden Pixie and Brisk Eagle, or Golden Pixie and Witcher. With that said, we're going to go to the last camp now, which is Vanguard. Vanguard is very similar to Martyr, but the difference is that the Vanguard camp, when it tracks the target and it's hitting the target and it's a single unit target, instead of damaging half the unit like the Martyr unit, it will actually damage all the units within that unit, therefore it causing more devastation. It does extremely well against lightly armored units, and for example, light tank, helicopters again, all artillery pieces, and it does better against artillery pieces than the Martyr bomber, but does a little bit worse than the Martyr bomber against tanks. Now, again, I would recommend the same exact pairing for the end game like I did on Martyr for Vanguard, but the same pairings also exist for the Vanguard as the Martyr. So this is going to be very short on this. So now you're wondering about what I mentioned about, oh, I can get free gold plus plus parts for just gold. Well, let me tell you how. Okay. Now in the slot machine event, you can buy your tokens with gold. For roughly 400k gold, you can get a single gold plus plus part. And every other month it rotates off from between fighter and bomber. And you can select the exact part you need, whether it's accessory, bomb, engine, whatever. You can get the part you need directly from this. So that's what you can get up to. As you can see, I didn't really progress far into bombers because bombers are no longer really my thing, and I'm not really interested in them because they're becoming more and more of a headache, and I decided to go a different route, which I will explain in a different video. So if you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I do have a Discord. If you want, you can join the community and talk to me directly about this subject or other subjects or other questions you have. I'm more than happy to help you. The link will be below in the description. So with that, I hope you all have a great day. This is Fubar. I got your 6. Peace.